Shabbat Shalom. If we haven't met yet, my name is Rabbi Arielle Shimko. I would like to share a little bit about this week's Parsha, Matot. This week is a double Parsha, Matot and Masei. However, we will be discussing only Parashat Matot today. Matot discusses vows and keeping our vows. At the beginning of Matot, we learn, if one makes a vow to Hashem, to God, or takes an oath, imposing an obligation on oneself, he shall not break his pledge. He must carry out all that has crossed his lips. This got me thinking about how important it is to stick to our word. From the time I was a little kid, my parents taught me to always stay true to my word, to be reliable, and to follow through. To this day, I can say that I try to be very careful with each word I utter and with each vow I make to myself, my husband, kids, family, and friends. I pride myself on more or less being able to follow through on my word to the best of my ability. This year, when counting the Omer, the 50 days between the second night of Passover and Shavuot, I used a Midot, an attributes Omer calendar by Rabbi Margaret Holub, which offered different focuses for each day of counting the Omer. One in particular stood out to me at the time. It was during the week of Yesod in Kabbalah of foundation, blueprint, plan. We focus on the midah, the attribute of seder, order. All your actions and possessions should be orderly, each and every one in a set place at a set time. Let your thoughts always be free to deal with that which lies ahead of you. On day 39 of counting the Omer, Netzach of Yesod, eternity of foundation, it says that we should uphold a long-term commitment. As soon as I started reading about Parashat Matot, I instantly thought back to day 39 of the counting of the Omer. I remember thinking about projects I needed to finish up, certificates I needed to send out, people I wanted to reach out to, and seeing that day 39 of the Omer offered an opportunity to uphold these long-term commitments and gave me the motivation to complete these tasks on my to-do lists. Just recently, my husband and I had been going back and forth on who was going to pick up my daughter's ski equipment from the mountain. I asked him several times to pick it up, and every time I passed the mountain, I considered picking her stuff up. Yet, I had an excuse every time why I couldn't pick up her skis. I was either hungry, tired, busy, it was raining. Yet just the other day, when I was reading about Matot and saw that it opened with staying true to our vows and upholding our commitments, I thought to myself, hey, I think it really may be time to pick up my daughter's skis. So sure enough, on the way home from dropping off my kids yesterday, I stopped by the mountain to pick up her stuff. It may seem like a simple task to be responsible for our obligations and the words that come out of our mouths, but we must remind ourselves daily to carry out our oaths and do what we say we will. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Zichrono Livracha, may his memory be for a blessing, discusses why this commitment to our oaths is so crucial to the Jewish story. Sachs says, people do what they do not simply because they want to and have the power to do so, even against the will of others, but because it is the right, lawful, commanded thing to do. This is the Torah project, a society built on laws given by God Himself, accepted voluntarily at Mount Sinai, taught by parents to children, spoken of when you sit in your house, when you walk on the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Laws not just engraved in stone or inscribed on parchment, but written on their hearts. In the beginning of Genesis it says, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the sky and the land. There is also that little word et before sky and land. Et is spelled Aleph Taf, And it is said that within these letters, from the first letter of the alphabet, Aleph, until the last letter of the alphabet, Taf, God created all of these letters to create all of the words in the universe. Sachs furthers his contention of the meaning of words by saying, words create moral obligations, and moral obligations, undertaken responsibly and honored faithfully, create the possibility of a free society. The next time you're thinking about your to-do lists and thinking about your own moral obligations, think back to this Parashat Matot, and you will be reminded of the significance of upholding your commitments to community, family, and friends, to yourself and God. Wishing you a beautiful and peaceful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.